Morning, everybody. It is 8:11 a.m., August 26th. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Um, Friday. All right, let's talk about Friday. Friday was very, very wacky. Very wacky. Um, Price action was all over the place. Actually, um, very volatile after Fed Powell. Structure was being honored, but like price action and like internals were not fully lining up, and when that happens my edge goes down. um Took a couple of trades. Yeah, a couple of trades like I took off, like I cut it and then it went to my target, which is frustrating. And like it happened twice in a row. I had a long, which I took off, which would have been a nice winner, and then had a short, which would have been a nice winner. And I was just like, I can't, because my confidence wasn't there. And then I took another trade and it didn't work out. So that was probably one of my worst days I've had. It wasn't horrible, but and basically the general lesson I got from that was, yeah, when your edge isn't there and things aren't moving like typically, you should probably de-risk, do half size, quarter size, because it was just me forcing my system on the market when it wasn't honoring normally what I see. And of course, having a couple of trades go my way after I cut them, which is never good. So that was that. But the price action was so nuts. And at the end of the day, structure held up because it's still bullish, right? And we have NVDA earnings coming up this week. We have core PCE coming up on Friday. So, but it's all about NVIDIA. We have a couple other earnings like Salesforce and Lululemon, I believe CrowdStrike, but the NVIDIA is really the main event, and this market is setting up to make a move. All right, we'll get into that today. I did some analysis over the weekend. There wasn't much to analyze, to be honest, because of what basically the market's been doing. It's just coiling up and waiting for that move, and the catalyst could definitely be NVIDIA. Okay, more than likely it will be NVIDIA, followed by core PCE on Friday. Okay, so without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in these markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure, and the most traded price of the year, the most traded price of the month, the most traded price of the week, and the preceding day. All helps me get my edge. Okay, gives my edge, and that's based on structure, right? So that's ignoring price action and looking at structure, and that's how I like to base my scenarios. Right? The perfect example of that right now is the crude long I've talked about. I'm still in it. All right, still in it. It's almost up 500% by now. I'm looking to add. This thing has not pulled back. This thing has not pulled back on me. I'm waiting for a pullback to 76. Right now it's at like 77 almost dollars a barrel. My entry is $72.27. So close to 500%. I'm looking now to hold 76 and like looking for it to go to 80. So that's working good. I mean, geopolitical news is helping that too. But the levels are perfect about what I talk about. Okay, and that's the whole point of what I'm saying. All right, so then, like I say all the time, after the analysis here happens, there's a day trading analysis. That's why I make shorts on my TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Instagram doesn't really get much love, so I don't even put that there, but I put it up there anyway. That's where I really show what I analyze when the market opens. Okay, so that's a little briefing on that. Now, every day I do this around 8:10 a.m. All right, there's only one exception, would be probably tomorrow. But then my daughter's gonna go to school, and then we'll be back to 8:10 a.m. every day. But usually 8:10 a.m. every day. Have a cup of coffee, have tea, and just listen to me. Right? I'll sum up the whole recap of what happened the previous day, or in this case Friday, We talk about the news, the economic calendar, the leaders and the laggards, upgrades, downgrades, earnings. We talk about the daily charts. Then we go to the main event at 8:30 a.m. We usually look at the ES and the Nasdaq futures, right? And analyze that. And that's my structure, right? Structure, not price action, structure. So that's more powerful, right? Price action, price action can fool you, boy. It can really fool you, all right? So please, without all that spiel out of the way, hopefully subscribe, set an alert to this channel. I'm trying to build it. I'm trying to reach 200 subs at least here. I'm trying to build a little army here. Get some market profiles and volume profiles out here. All right. If you do enjoy my content, please give me a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. All right. And you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. And you can always follow me on TikTok, Gonzo719Trader. Okay. I think we're ready to look at these futures, right? Futures watch list. And my favorite one is up at the top here. Boom. Look at crude. Crude's up 2.67%. Loving it. Loving it. Let's look at this watch list together. All right. So crude, well, it's up more than that now. It reached, I think, 77. I'm hoping for a pullback, honestly, so I can add to this trade. Okay. Silver up 1.14. Russell's up 0.82. Now the Russell is going to get a lot of love because of cuts coming. All right, lower interest rates is really going to help the interest rate sensitive Russell. Okay. The VIX still at a 16, up 0.82. Gold, loving it. I'm a proud holder of gold, up 0.6. Bitcoin's up 0.20. ES is up 0.16. The Dow is up 0.15. The dollar is up 0.09. Dollar's trying to hold that 100 support that I've been talking about. 10-year yield is kind of flat. It's up 0.08. Nasdaq's flat. 30-year bonds down slightly, 0.08%. Ether's down 0.47. 0.47. Let's go to the Max 7 Plus. Who's leading the pack here? NVDA. NVIDIA was up more earlier. It was up more. They have earnings today, this week, Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday's the big day. Wednesday's the big day. So we got NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday. Coinbase is up 0.28. Google's up 0.26. JP Morgan up 0.25. Berkshire Hathaway up 0.25. Netflix up 0.12. And now let's just go to any real laggards here. Let's see. Meta down 0.44. I mean, Boeing down 0.83. Not like crazy laggards here, okay? But the Nasdaq is relatively weaker in structure to the ES, to the SPY, okay? Let's move on to top sectors. So this is what I've expected as well. So Exxon's up 0.93. Chevron, I've expected this. With the crude moving down, right? And if you notice, Chevron really took a dip down to a key support. Really took a dip down. So again, I'm no financial advisor. Please, this is not financial advice. Okay, this is just me, and I've already done these. So I've opened a position in CVX, my portfolio, and they also threw a bull call spread on CVX. All right, last week, hoping to get over 149. Okay, and this is already coming to fruition. I believe this should, if you look at a chart of CVX, should push up pretty good. All right, so that's looking good. Now Uber is up 0.4. Home Depot. Now let's see if there's a laggard. Eli Lilly has been a monster. That's not much of a laggard. All right, let's move on to the swing. We got Alcoa's up 1.89. That's aluminum. For solar, up 1.53. Affirm up 1.53. I believe that is an energy company. I forget the name of it. Enphase. So solar energy getting a little love this morning. Devon. Now this is energy. This is your energy. This is Devon. Remember, crude is moving up. Devon Energy, obviously an oil-based stock. Then you got the regional bank ETF is up 0.83. That's going to help the Russell. That's really it for the really leaders here. Let's go to laggards. Baba. I did see Pinduoduo is down a lot. I'm assuming this is probably why. All right. Baba's down 2.63%. Nike's down 0.95. Micron's down 0.84. They did get some type of like a price target change or something. Wayfair, I know, got a downgrade, I believe. Palantir's down 0.69. There's really not much laggards here, okay? As there's not huge leaders here as well. All right, let's move on to the guts, the sectors. Let's do it. Boom. No surprise, energy's leading the pack. All right. Energy is up 0.95%. There's some geopolitical stuff going on with Hezbollah, and that's helping crude. All right, and crude was pretty much oversold, came to a key support level, and now it's reversing. All right, we'll go over that later. All right, real estate. Now, real estate sector is getting love. Why? Because there's cuts going to happen. When there's cuts, mortgage rates should go down, interest rates should go down. That's going to help real estate. All right, financials is on a tear. Financials at all-time highs. Berkshire Hathaway is the largest holding in financial sector. Okay, it's on a tear. Just look at financial sector. All right, basic material, same thing. Going to get some love now because of interest rate cuts. Okay, technologies down 0.07. All right. Now, one to look at, which I've already been in a long time ago, been in Nextera Energy down in the 50s. It's heading towards 80 now, and I'm hoping it hits 93 now because these dividend stocks, what happens is when you get higher yield interest rates, people got out of them and went into 10-year yield, went into the bond market. Now we're going to get interest cuts, yield should fall, and people are going to go back into these dividend stocks. All right. But of course, the moves happened kind of a lot already. So that's what's going on there. The only laggard today is semis, which is interesting. It's only down 0.15 though. You know, Micron's got that little move down. NVDA is up, but it's like hovering around that 130. Um, Now let's see if people try to get ahead of NVIDIA. Who knows? Okay, who knows? All right, so that's what's going on in the sectors. All right, that wraps up that. I think we can get into the economic calendar. Now, I am going to be going on vacation, so after Wednesday, I will not be here on Thursday and Friday. I'll be back the following, obviously Tuesday, because we have a holiday. So I won't be here for. You got GDP on Thursday and Friday. You got core PCI. I won't be around. Uh, so wish everybody luck. But I'm just letting you guys know. Let's look at this calendar together. So today we have durable goods at 8:30, Dallas Fed at 10:30. They don't usually move the market much. All right, but tomorrow, Case Schiller at 9 a.m. Wednesday we had Fed Waller, crude inventory, Fed Bostic at 6. Thursday's GDP, jobless claims, retail inventories. You get pending home sales at 10. Fed Bostic speaking at 3:30. Fridays is pretty much the main one for the week. Core PCE on Friday, right? So that's like the Fed's favorite gauge of inflation. The what is that? The personal capital expenditure, all right? I don't know if that's consumption expenditure. I don't know. That's leaving my mind right now. But that is the calendar for this week, okay? There's really nothing on the juice. Um, let's see if there's something here. PC inflation, we're talking about. NVIDIA, obviously, we're looking at Friday. We talked about that. I don't really think there's something here. Let's just see if there's anything new. No, not really. Let's go to upgrades and downgrades. Let's just see some upgrades here. We have BJ's upgraded. We have. That's about it here. Let's go downgrades. Downgrades. There's Wayfair. That's why Wayfair's got some weakness. Downgraded from a buy to a hold. Let's go to some initiations. Nothing really there to talk about. Price target changes. Let's go to that. Sentinel One. That's obviously an IT company, cybersecurity. They got a target raise from a 25 to a 29. Peloton target raised $4 to 475. What else here? Foot Locker target raised 26 to 35. Then here's the Micron. Now we get to lowered. Micron lowered 150 to 140. That's why Micron's down a little bit. Lululemon target lowered. All right, 470 to 360. They're having reporting earnings this week. Let's see what else here. Baidu target lowered. All right, that's about all I want to talk about there. Um, we do have earnings this week. Let's pull that up. Let's pull that up. Let me get back to. I think I forgot to put that up there. Give me one sec. I'm gonna put this up here. Apologize for that. Sorry about that, folks. Give me one second. Just trying to show you the earnings here. All right. What a pain in the butt right now my computer's being. Hold on a second. All right. Finally. Jeez. Sorry about that. Let's look at these earnings together. Okay. So Pinduoduo, they are down. All right. So let's see. We had after the close today, nothing really special. Before the open tomorrow, we have nothing really special. There's Tuesday after the close, Sentinel 1, PVH, Box, who else? Nordstrom. All right. But Wednesday before the open, Chewy, Abercrombie and Fitch, Kohl's, Foot Locker. So a lot of retail again, Bath and Body Works. All right. Now, Wednesday, here you go. NVDA. This is a lot right here. NVIDIA. That's all you really got to say. CrowdStrike, Salesforce, Affirm, that Okta, Viva, Five Below, HP. That's a pretty big one. Huge on Wednesday. Okay. Best Buy on Thursday, Dollar General, American Eagle, Campbell's, Burlington, Birkenstock, 1-800 Flowers. And then Dell on Thursday, Lululemon, Ulta, Marvel, Gap, Autodesk, MongoDB, and then that's really that. But that's still, it's all about NVIDIA. It's all about NVIDIA, folks. All right. I think we can get into the daily charts now. Let's do that. Daily charts coming your way. All right. Here we go. Zoom in a little bit. We're consolidating, folks. Remember I talked about it. I said we can't break up, and as long as we hold, we're gonna have balance. And welcome to balance. All right, welcome to balance. What do you do on Friday? Opened here, closed here. All right, gave you a little scare, not really. So you got support at 555, and we got resistance around, let's say 562, 563. Call it 563. All-time highs is 565.16. I believe Nvidia has good earnings. You know, it's either one of two things going to happen. We're going to stay in balance, wait for Nvidia, or we're going to try to price in Nvidia beating earnings, and we're going to go to the all-time high. That's really what all I can see happening here. I believe it wants all-time highs. Okay. And let's look at the live look at the futures market. Look at this coiled up. We're just coiled up. We're waiting for a move. All right, we're waiting for a move. Now, one thing I got to note, I've talked about this before. This is just a story, right? Everything's a story. So, September is generally bearish. Okay. However, big thing to note. September 5th starts the blackout period for stock buybacks. Okay, so you know all these companies can't buy their own shares after September 5th. Okay, so that's big. So that means there's a blackout. And then comes September, generally bearish. What do we have coming up in November? An election. People might want to de-risk. Okay, so what you could see maybe happening is this week with NVIDIA, we push up, we break out to all-time highs, and then maybe a little bit of a de-risking happens because of the election. Okay, it doesn't have to happen that way. That makes sense to me, but like, that doesn't mean anything. I'm just mentioning it, right? I think it's probable. Doesn't mean it has to happen. Qs, same thing, right? Qs pushed up, and you're just in this range. Okay, we did creep into last week's range, but then we closed outside of it. All right, the previous weeks. Okay, so that's bullish. You're holding the 50-day. All right. Where are we at now? 579.60. 479.60. We are like in the middle of the range right now. Nasdaq. That's not a great place to be. So we're going to test the lows, test the highs. We're going to do something from that because you're in the middle. You just don't stay there. You got to test something. Let's look at the Qs. I'm sorry. And then where can we go? 487. I've been talking about that. Then you got a gap all the way up to 492, 493. Okay. Remember, you could just see visually it's weaker than the SPY. All right. Let's look at the live look. Just coiling up. We're just coiling over the 50-day moving average, right? So, and we held the previous week's range, all right? Now you do have resistance right here, 2,000. Now remember, 20,000 is a high volume node. You can just see there's a lot of trading here. This is why I did not expect this to just cut through this like a hot knife through butter. Okay, so that's the live look at the futures, all right? Now, let's go to triple-headed monster. That 10-year yield. All right. So you can see here, we're just in a range. Maybe core PCE. It's going to tell us what the bond market thinks. We have cuts coming. I would love to get a push up here and maybe think about buying some notes, possibly 10-year. Possibly. Again, not financial advice, just what I might think about doing. But unless that happens, I'm not doing anything. All right, so we're going to start your triple-headed monster here. Started with the 10-year yield. Then we're going to go to the second head, which is your dollar. And the dollar has been weak. Okay. Dollar, this swing low here we keep talking about, is still supporting the dollar. If you lose that, wow. Devaluing of this dollar, right, is generally better for commodities and equities generally, right? And also, devaluing the dollar is not also a good thing overall. So it's like a slippery slope here. Okay. Now the VIX is at a 16. So we always talk about a 16 VIX means about a 1% expected move plus or minus in the S&P 500. So there is still volatility here. Volume is still not the best. It was better on Friday, but still summer trading type volume. Okay, when you get nice volume, which you had on Friday, but that price action was so wacky on Friday. But when you have that combined with the VIX at a 16, you got really nice ranges. Okay, you get really nice ranges. All right, that wraps up the triple-headed. All right, now the couple things to note that I did on the weekend, just to note, the utilities are preset at all-time highs, financials are all-time highs, stables are close to all-time highs, healthcare is at all-time highs, and guess what's not? Technology, right? Communications is almost at all-time highs, but technology is the heaviest weighted sector, so you can see it's relatively weaker. Now, what could push that? NVIDIA, So you just got to see. You just got to see, okay? We are going to get to the main event. Here we go. Let me get this up here. Hold on a second here. There we go. There's our beautiful market profile, volume profile. Let's look at this together. Now, couple important things to note here. Let me get my little marker out. Okay, let's talk about it. All right. Now you could see a large session on Friday, right? Large session. Okay. And very wild. Very, 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 very wild. Okay. But where's price? Right here. Right? We were all the way down here at one point on Friday, right? But let's look at this profile. Now, rolling profile, okay, is not a, it's here we go. Let's go. Let's just do it here. Here's your value area. 70% of the trade, and you only have this little excess. Okay. This, folks, is what I would call it a bullish imbalance. Right? This profile is begging to get pushed up with excess here. There's a gap still unfilled up here to go to all-time highs. Okay, it's coiling. It's coiling. Okay, price is here. Most traded price of Friday is here. Most traded price of the week should move up, but it's right here right now. That is 56.25. Now, what I want to show you is, see this hot pink line here? This is the 24-hour most traded price of the month. It is now equal to the most traded price of the week. What does that mean? Ultimate balance. I made reels about this. Ultimate balance, setting up for NVIDIA's earnings. Okay, what does this mean? That means this area right here has been the most traded price of the last month in the week. So you have the most longs and shorts have done the most business at that level, 56.25. All right, price is above it. So whenever you have the most participants agreeing at price, right? Those are long and the shorts here. Somebody's going to get hurt. And if NVIDIA does a nice little earnings and they blow out earnings again, you're going to get that nice big move through this gap. And you're going to break out, probably make new all-time highs. Now, if some reason and the market does not like NVIDIA, what the hell's going on here? Does not like NVIDIA, right? Let's say it doesn't like it. Well, all longs are going to get hurt. Okay? That's just how it works. That's just how it works. Okay? So that's our structure, right? You can't get any more really bullish right now. You can't. Above most traded price of Friday, above the most traded price of the week, and probably will be the most traded price of the month. You don't get more bullish structure wise, okay? Doesn't matter that you did this on Friday. Doesn't matter. Price is here, right? So let's talk about where we're at. All right. So here's Friday's highs. Here's the overnight highs. Right. We got a weak high here, folks. 566, 5664, 5665, right up here. That's the supply zone. It's almost all used up. That is your weak high. That is your breakout level. You have the gap above. Okay. That's what we have going up there. We have our weak high, our confluence high, right there. Okay. What else do we have? Let's look. Let's look at other levels. All right. Now we do have our most traded price of the week right here. We have our week to date VWAP, but just started this week, so it's not as important right now. Right here, right. And let's see here. I'm just trying to see some levels here. Now, the most traded price of the week should move here. So this demand zone in the overnight low will be pretty important because this probably will be the most traded price of the week right here, about 56.35. You just want to see if the market defends this. The bottom of this is the 50% move. A 50% move of Friday. Okay. And then you just have so many points here, right? Really, I would say this, to be honest with you, right here. This is defense, really, for the bulls. That's that most traded price, 56.25. Right at the bottom of it. Why am I saying this? Okay. Really is they should defend these prices. If it's really bullish structurally, these prices should get defended. Now, what do we have here? We have value area low from Friday. We have the most traded price of the month in the week here. So this is really, this area is, I'm going to just pay close attention to it. Close attention to those levels. Okay? Come down here, that could just be balance. All right, if we come down here, this would be our balance lows most likely if we do revisit them. Remember, 56, 55, 60 is still the most traded price of the month. But this most likely will move up here. But that's still going to be a composite high volume node I will keep on my charts because that's an important level, just to make sure everybody understands that. All right, I think we're ready to get into scenarios here of what I'm looking at. Okay, let's do it. Let's start with the bull case because they are in control. Okay. So, we know we got what? 5664 is a weak high. That is a breakout level. We have supply there that's almost all used up, so that supply is weakened. All right? We have a weakened supply. Now, what do I want to see? A couple things that could happen. Okay? Number one, we can break it out. Maybe touch the top of this bottom of this gap. I'd like a pullback to here to then see what we do here. Do we hold this most traded price of the overnight and go higher and fill that gap, go up to 5,700, which is a naked VPOC? That just means it's an untested most traded price of the day from the past. Okay, then we can go right into this supply, probably at 5,705. All right, that's one. That's very bullish. Okay, that's very bullish. I will not chase this at all. Now, what else can happen? We can break that up, come back into here. We could bounce off the most traded price and go up. Okay, there's a lot of pullback options here. We can also break the most traded price, and now we're going to go and test the overnight lows. And that's when I talked about this really area has to be defended. It's a big area, okay, but it really has to be defended. All right, so again, any place in here the market could push up. You just have to see too how the market is internally. Is it strong, right? How is it? Are people just gonna go, nope, I'm de-risking for NVIDIA? It could happen, right? But I've seen many times where people are like, I'm all in on NVIDIA, let's price it in. I think the market should go higher. I don't know. You just really don't know what the market's gonna really do. All right, now let's go for the bearish case. Now in the bearish case, okay, we have supply here. So this could be a little bull trap here. Okay. Now what else did I talk about? This area. Right here, this big area. And that's around, what are that, 5642 to around 5620. Okay, this area. All right. So, if I'm a bear, what I'd like to see is a market push up. Now remember, it's almost inverse to what I said bullish wise, right? Hit that gap. Gaps, if the market's strong, this should fill this gap. Okay? If a gap only gets here and you get resistance from the gap, well, that's a little bearish, right? Get a lower high, lower high, lower high, and then you can start coming back and working off some of this froth and test the most traded price of Friday. Okay, now if you break that, you're going to go down to the overnight lows and the demand zone here. This is a lot of work for bears to do. Okay, I don't expect this to get broken very easily. Again, it all depends on how weak the market is. How weak it is. So what I'd like to see here, if you're in from up here, fine. You can hold it and check it out and watch, right? But you need to break down through this and hold and hold and hold and try to see if you can get and test 55.82. This is demand. Okay. Now, it's possible because now it would just go back to the other end of balance, right? Waiting for NVIDIA. This is not bearish. Okay. If you take this out and you test 55.60 and you break that, that is a different story. That is very bearish. Okay. But like I said, NVIDIA is coming up. Do I really think people are going to short the market ahead of NVIDIA? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, so remember, there's always a story that has to be told. Now, let's move on to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ. Let's look at structure, folks. Okay. Here we go. This is our little profile. And now you can see this has a little bullish imbalance to it as well. Okay. Look, a complete profile would look like this. Okay. So this is telling me NASDAQ want my higher too. Look, in higher would mean maybe about the end of this supply zone. Okay. Now remember, it's relatively weaker than the ES. Relatively weaker. Okay. Let's expand this out. All right. So, where's price? Price is right here. 197.60. Now, look at this price. Structure is a lot different, right? You have an inside session here from Friday. Friday's highs and lows. Inside session. Where the hell's the price here? Oh, there it is. All right, inside session. There's your overnight highs and lows. Inventory is very balanced. Profile is very balanced in the overnight. There's not much edge there at all. Okay, now we do have an important level. Now I want to notice something here that's different. Okay, that's different. In the NASDAQ, here's the most traded price of the week. 198.50. Price is below it, right? But price is above the most traded price of Friday. So you're in between the most traded price of Friday and the week. It's kind of like a no man's land, all right? So you can tell structurally it's weaker than the ES. ES is above all the major levels. Okay? All the major levels. And tech is kind of like the lagging sector right now. Okay? But what do you got? You got some shorts in here that can get blown out of the water from NVIDIA, right? So if we're looking at levels right here, very important, is this demand zone, okay, with the overnight low, with the most traded price of Friday. That has to be defended by bulls, okay? That has to be defended. And then you got, what do you got? See, this is all about the overnight session in the NASDAQ, okay? And what do you have here? You have a week high, confluence high. You have the most traded price of the week and the overnight high together. Okay? So if this gets tested, you can push up and maybe test the Friday's highs. Okay? Now, what could happen? Easily can happen. I can see this. I wouldn't call it bearish. I can see it's breaking this, coming down, and you're testing these balanced lows. Notice, there's definitely balanced lows down here. 195.42, let's just say, around. And that could also be, all right, test that, and we go back to the other end of balance. Okay, it's not bearish, it's just structure, right? But immediate bull defense is here and then here. Okay, on the bearish side, sellers got to step up here, and then you got a big supply zone up here. Okay, big supply zone. Trying to see some other levels for you. You got a weak low here at 196.01 to about 195, 195.92. That's a weak low right here. It's confluence low, so I can see it's coming down here. If it's support, if it's not, I can see it's breaking down to the bottom of this demand. Okay, those are the levels that I'm looking at. They're important. Okay, so let's get right into scenarios. All right, and we're gonna go with the bull case, and we've talked about it, right? So this demand, most share price of Friday, and the overnight low is immediate bull defense. All right, so what I want to see, we could push up, even come here, come through. What do we do when this gets tested? What do we do? If we do this, higher low, well, we're going to test the overnight highs and this week high and supply. There's supply here too, all right? And you're going to see if you can reach the Friday's highs right here. Then you still have single prints from the past right here, okay? If the market starts catching a bid, I can see it's clearing these single prints and then trying to attack this 20. Now 20,000 is a high volume node from the past, so this is why this has been problematic. But if we start to break out, we can start to move up here. Okay. Now we also have to talk about it. If we do happen to come down here, break this, this could be definitely a bear trap if you're not looking at it like a balance. All right, we can come down here, maybe break this week low, and then recover in higher low. Then you probably come back and rest in here. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Bearish. Okay, bearish. So now immediately it's all about this overnight high, overnight low, right? We talked about week high, week highs and week lows. All right, so we got supply, we got the most traded price of the week all together in the overnight high. So sellers have to step up here. All right, so what it could look like is come down here, boom, push up, and you got supply here, so you can definitely not make it over, roll over. This is the week low. If you break that, you're probably going to test these balance lows. All right, and then it's up to, do you break this? Because if you do, we're going to go down into these single prints, probably touch this gap. Like I said though, highly unlikely with NVIDIA's earnings coming up. I don't think people would want to be that short. If we did, I would expect us to bounce. Okay, so that's one. All right, now another thing can happen is we can push up through this level, hit supply, Friday's highs, clean out these singles, and then lower high. That could also land us here. Maybe we balance out the rest of the session, right? So there's a multitude of ways here, but it's like I would think for me, in this area, that's the only time I'd probably be like, all right, let me see how the market is, right? If it's range bound, all right, maybe I think a short up there, maybe. Honestly, I'd rather lean on longs right now. But I just have to see, right? You never clearly know what is happening. All right, now crude, I thought I was going to get a pullback in crude. It doesn't look, I mean, I can't be upset about it because I'm about to hit 500%, being up 500%. But let's look at crude real quick and just show you a quick lesson here on crude. Monster move today. All right, so why don't we start out real quick with this with the daily chart real quick. Daily chart. So this is crude, okay? just want to show you most traded price of the year. We're passing it now. And this is the only reason I went into crude. Crude moved up, pushed all the way down, pushed up, came back to this level, and I was like, you know what? I'm liking the energy charts. I'm liking crude. And now you just got almost, like I said, I have like almost no pullback here. I'm in at 72.27, around right here, right there. And it's just pushing up. It's past 77. I had to get past 76 in order for it to move really good. Well, now it's moving past, and it could be going towards 80. I would love it to go towards 82. I'm just looking for a pullback to add. Okay. Now, if we look at the chart with me and how this works, it works beautifully for the way I trade and the way I look at markets. Okay. It's very, very perfect, picture perfect, and not all things are. All right. So I'm in here. I got long around here. Around here. Okay. I got long here. My stop was here. And then the market opened up, pushed up. Now, what I wanted to see, look, you had ultimate balance here. That's the most traded price in the week and the month together. Right? And what I wanted to see was take that out. Right? So that was number one. Take this out and hold it. Why? Because the most people are going to be the most pain if you rip through that. Right? Now, what's the next thing I would have wanted to see? Right? Holding it. Well, what did we hit? Notice what this is right here? It's the month to date VWAP, anchored VWAP, okay, for the month of August. So once this, I wanted to see this taken out. So what happened? We got some weakness, pulled back a little bit, took it out. We took it out. What does that mean? Now the average seller for the month is underwater, right? Then next, what did we have here? This is perfect, perfect chart. We have the most traded price of the rolling year here and the most traded price of this year here. Initially I said, boy, we're probably going to get held in here and kind of consolidate. Well, a little help with the Hezbollah news and all this other stuff going geopolitical news. It just came in here. It did hang out here. Okay, but then look at this single prints. Wham! Now guess what? You just got out of ultimate balance down here, the most traded price of the month and the week. Now you're above the most traded price of the year in the rolling year, and you're all set to make a move probably to $80. Okay, probably to 80. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have single prints here. I'm hoping maybe do this, and now like I thought I was going to get a pullback to here to add. Okay, this supply coming up, I would like to get some type of pullback and consolidation so I can add to this to go to 80. But I can't complain. All right. That's just how you use that chart of why I say market profile, volume profile, most traded price, anchor VWAPs, right? I think that proves that it's just powerful. It's just powerful. Okay. So hope you guys enjoyed all that. And if you did, subscribe and set an alert, please. All right. Trying to give you golden nuggets. Give me a like or a thumbs up. All right. And you can follow me on X at Gonzo719. And you can follow me on TikTok, Gonzo719Trader. Okay. So we have our plan today. All right. I am hoping not to see price action like Friday. I had to actually be open with you guys. I like journaled about it, and basically, if I see that again, I am definitely going to use less risk and definitely wait for real more confirmation, because my edge is not there. It's like a dull knife. I have a dull knife, not a razor edge. Okay, and that's what happens. You take a loss. Um, you know, Obviously this crude thing helps my Friday day, but it's something you always gotta like look at and go, what could I have done even though I knew it, because when I was trading, I knew this price action was not lining up with my edge. I was like, this is not moving how I normally trade, and right there should have been half positions only and waiting for really waiting for big confirmations. That should have been it, or shutting it down, right? But these are the things you have to go through in order to sharpen up your system again. Because I will remember this and go, all right, my my edge isn't really super there, so I have to then adjust my risk accordingly, because it's all about risk management, right? Still profitable on the month, still having a good month, like like it made my week slightly red, which I haven't had a red week in a while. So, but it's you know you have to follow your system, but then know when to go. You know what? I know when my edge is there. It's not like I don't. So that's just my little story. All right. So not everything is puppy dogs and ice cream. Like the crude trade is unbelievable right now. I can't be more happier. But then you have Friday, and I'm just like, all right, got to get real with your edge. Got to get real with yourself. Implement new rules, and then go forward. Right. All right. So everybody, we got our plan. Good luck today. Have a great day. Hope everybody has a green day. Remember, no trade to trade. It's Monday. Let things settle out a little bit, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.